as far as like the message getting like I get what you're saying, that all of the what people are calling rioting and looting, all of that is kind of taken, it's in the forefront now. And so the message and what the real message and what this is all about, but whose fault is that a majority of people in this country care more about property than they do about a man who lost his life on camera in front of all of us with a
Black
police
man.
officer's knee on his neck? Like, who, yeah, a black man, whose fault is that people, and even people who look like us, care more about property? It's not, there are still people out there that are very clear about the message. And you know, you see Garcetti in Los Angeles kind of bringing in the National Guard. I'm seeing tanks go down the street in super progressive LA. That is horrifying in the middle of the day because protests got out of hand. And the LAPD hasn't been a model for what you'd want a perfect police department to be before Rodney King, after Rodney King. So whose fault is it that people in power aren't listening and that they care more about property than they care about people?
But you know what? I'm going to be an outlier in this conversation because I think your methods matter. Your goals are not the only thing that matters. Your methods matter. How you go about trying to accomplish your goals is significant to me. And if your methods and your goals don't agree, then to me, somewhere along the line, somebody's lying. And I recognize, and push back, please, but I recognize that a lot of these protests have been infiltrated by, you know, people with other agendas. I get that. And I think that needs to be said more and more and more and more. But for those of us who come from us, who were nursed on the breast of our mothers and raised on our knees, we need to say to each other, yes, America has done what it's done, and America is not going to change on its own. Protest in March, but there has to be a way that we do it that is befitting African people, in my opinion.
That's
and I don't
laughable,
think, and to me, breaking up windows and all that, I'm not with that.
That's laughable.
But since when in the history of this country has getting angry like that not worked?
Say that again?
I think since when in the history of this country has like getting angry and showing it, since when has that not worked?
Since when has it worked? The riots in Newark accomplished what?
For white people.
The Freddie Gray riots accomplished what? The Ferguson riots accomplished what?
Well,
I think we're talking about.
I can tell you what the LA riots has accomplished. There has been a bit of a change since the LA riots. The police chief used to be an appointment for an extended time, and now the appointment of the police chief is for 5 years. So there have been some things that have incrementally changed, and I cannot say that riots or rebellions, if you will, don't spark the discussion to create the change. And in most cases, it ignites change, if just a little. And I'm sorry, when you have people who are peacefully protesting and they get penalized and punished for it, what are your other causes? And that's why I say that's laughable, Dr. Sean. So if it's not peacefully protesting, and if it's not protesting violently, then what is the solution? What is the answer? How do we get America to listen to the needs of Blacks if it's not that? Neither of those.
You think that they're going to listen to us right now because of this?
I don't think they've ever listened to us.
They're not. They're not.
Right.
They're not going to listen because we broke windows at the Grove. You know, that's not going to lead to.
But they weren't listening when people were kneeling. Like really privileged, rich men were kneeling.
That's
at the
my
beginning
point,
of football game.
Let me tell you, I honestly believe.
So it's like it's just further push. Go for it.
I honestly believe
but the goals are not the only thing that matters. Them listening. Here's my point. They are not the only thing that matters. Them listening is not the point. We cannot act in such a way nor embrace methods in such a way that turns us into something that we cannot live with and that we shouldn't be, which is my point. I'm all for getting people to listen the best way that we can, but I'm not willing to do anything that turns me into something that I can't live with.
I'm not really interested in anyone listening to us anymore. That's done. That's dead and gone. I'm ready for action to happen. We've spilled our guts and our needs and our wants to this nation for decades. Everybody knows there's nothing else to listen to. Now we need action. We need laws that are put in place. We need police reform, criminal reform. We need the other 3 police officers who murdered George Floyd to be arrested and charged. We need some things to happen. That's my point. Some things need to happen. What else are we talking about? Like, we all know what we're talking about. We're talking about Black men dying at the hands of police. And we're also talking about white women who just, who just go out and lie on Black men because they can. And a lot of people have been talking about Black Wall Street lately. I've been seeing a lot of that on Instagram lately. And that whole Black Wall Street burning down started from a white woman saying she was raped by a Black man. So I'm just saying, what else are we listening? I mean, what are we listening for?